What's up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Guardians of the Galaxy Evolution of Groot figure from Hasbro. All right, now let's take a quick look at packaging, and it's a standard Marvel Legends box. There's not a great deal to talk about. One thing to talk about though is the fact that since he's so big, Groot isn't put together. You've actually got to put him together. He was a Build-A-Figure at one point, obviously, so he's huge in comparison to what normally fits in this box. His legs are down here. We've got the Guardians logo, not Guardians 2, so this is, it kind of stands apart. It's 1 and 2. We've got the Toys R Us logo. We've got our two tiny Groots down there. We've got some artwork. We've got the figure, same artwork again. So let's pull him out. All right, now here's our figure, and he's pretty imposing. He's a big guy. Let's do a size comparison, because I don't have the original Groot figure to compare against. I don't have any of the Guardians figures. This is the first one that I've gotten, so we will let's use Deadpool because I've got him handy. So Deadpool comes up to about the armpit. So Groot's pretty tall. Most of that's in the legs. So we'll take a look at sculpt and paint and articulation, all that good stuff. Sculpt is probably the best place to start because there's a lot of it. He's a tree, so he's made of bark essentially, and there's tons of sculpted detail all over him. Everything has something sculpted on him. He's got wood patterning, for lack of a better term, all over the body, and a lot of grooves, a lot of cuts. Just anywhere that you could see some sort of wood texturing is included, and he's got little kind of sticks and branches that are branching off, no pun intended, of the body in various places. So I like the look of the guy. I think he certainly looks the part, and it's a pretty solid representation. I think one of the differences here between this figure and the other Groot is the head. This Groot is smiling, and I think it looks pretty good. It's a good representation of the character in the face. Head sculpt is really, really nice. I like the tree trunk aspect of the head, and it looks pretty good. As far as paint goes, he is lightly painted. Mostly he's just molded brown plastic, but there is a bit of a wash in between the... most of the legs have a lot of a wash in the line work on there. And then there's green kind of brushed all over certain parts of him. I believe that's new for this figure as well. The head sculpt does have some paint. There's paint in the mouth, and then he's got the eyes are obviously painted, as well as kind of the orbital sockets on the face, or what would be the eye sockets, I guess, are painted a darker shade of brown. And then there's some more of that green shading on the head. Beyond that, that's pretty much it. As far as articulation goes, pretty decent, I think, for a character of this build type, at least. The legs kind of add a bit of complexity in terms of where his articulation points are going to be. So we've got head that swivels all the way around. He does have a little bit of a hinge, but not a lot, not a ton. The arms go all the way out, and they are on a ball joint, so they rotate. We've also got bicep swivel. We've got a double jointed elbow, goes in pretty decently, and then we've got a wrist rotation, and that there is a hinge there, but it's kind of tight, and I think that's due to the wrist mold kind of overlapping that hinge. You can just barely see it sticking out there, but it does go a little bit, not a ton. The torso does move at the kind of around the pecs. There's a rocker there, a crunch, and then he also swivels at the torso. There is no waist swivel. There are ball jointed legs. They go out. You could almost get him to do the splits. He also swivels at the ball joint as well, kind of a ratcheted joint. We've got a single jointed knee, goes about 90 degrees, and then there's not a whole lot in the ankle. Just a bit of a rocker almost. So not a ton of articulation, but I think what they provided this guy is pretty solid. All right, now the big draw, well, maybe the big draw, not for me, but I think it's cool anyway, are the quote-unquote accessories. Maybe they're not really accessories, but they're not part of the main figure, so we're going to go with that. So this is the evolution of Groot. So we've got the various forms. We've got like the potted plant baby Groot, and then we've got like the toddler Groot. So we'll take a look at this guy first. He's, white pot. It's kind of hard to see. just a little gummy, rubbery kind of stick. He does have a face sculpt in there. There is paint on him. He's brown paint, but he's got weathered effects on him. He's also got some of that green, and then the dirt is painted. And then on the kind of toddler kid Groot, same kind of thing. He's a gummier plastic than even the potted one, I believe. He also kind of has a hard time standing up. And I think that's mostly because he's kind of posed in the way that he's like walking forward while waving. But he's got painted eyes just like Groot, and then he's got that green wash. He kind of mimics this Groot in terms of paint application. So very cool. My wife is probably going to steal both of these little guys. I don't know what she's going to do with them, but I'd probably lose them on my display somewhere. I think they're pretty cool though. For people who already have this Build-A-Figure, there's not a whole lot here for them. So this obviously is a big way to get people to kind of double dip on this guy. And he was only 20 bucks. So, you know, you can't really go wrong for a Build-A-Figure for that kind of price. Now overall, I'm pretty pleased with this figure. Like I said, you know, he's only $20. So can you really go wrong with a Build-A-Figure for 20 bucks? Even if you already got him, I'd say the overwhelming majority of Legends fans and Marvel fans absolutely love Groot and love the concept of Baby Groot and, you know, the cute factor within. So, you know, he's a little different. So if you wanted a second Groot, you've got one. If you don't have a Groot, this is the best way to get one, I think, without having to go through the trouble of tracking down the previous wave or buying the Build-A-Figure pieces separately or however you were planning to do it. So this is a great way to get this figure. Head sculpt is great. The body is sculpted really well. Articulation is pretty solid. It's not perfect, but you know, what are you going to do when a character is 60% legs? He needs to be sturdy. He's got tree trunks for legs, so it works. The two little included baby Groots are really cool. People are going to love them, especially, you know, anybody who just likes cute baby Groots. So can't really go wrong there. All in all, a really solid figure. Definitely glad that Hasbro decided to release this guy on his own. So I can't complain too much in that regard. I finally got him for myself. So that's going to do it for this one, everyone. As always, stay tuned to Toy Bro for more reviews. And feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share down below. And until next time.